We're back. We've been gone for a minute. And this evening, Chika, when this comes out, it'll probably be time have gone past. But Liverpool have just beaten City 2-0. Comfortable win. City looking like a shell of themselves. And I'm happy about it. It was the first time where I was like willing City on.
Yeah, I know, same.
It's weird.
I had that same feeling. I was just like,
This feels weird.
finish it, the murder.
But to get straight into it, I think Liverpool are going to get found out second half of the season.
Of course.
Oh, you agree with that?
Yeah.
It's not out there. Okay. I think with this new manager bounce, of course, Slotty's got them playing fantastic football and they've been brilliant and, you know, they've only drawn and lost one game in 13. But I just think second half of the season, teams will start to find them out. I think this is like an extended manager bounce. And I also don't think they've invested enough in depth. I think the only real place that they've got depth is going forward. They're attacking players. Apart from that, I think if Van Dijk gets injured, they're in a bit of trouble. And actually, to be fair, keeper-wise as well, they're all right. Shout out Keller. At fullback, to be fair, they've got decent cover in Conor Bradley. Left back, they've got decent cover. But I think in the midfield, I think if one of them or a few of them gets injured, I think they're in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it's mainly their key players, in my opinion. Like, I did say, this week was going to be a telling week, and like they are the real deal. But and their style has changed, so it's less. What was it? Rockstar football that Klopp kind of liked. So they're expending a lot less on the football field and soaking up pressure a lot better, and kind of attacking when it's right, and just being a killer in front of goal, mainly because of Salah. But this happens with Liverpool with Salah. Salah is gonna have a mad streak, but he's gonna get burnt out by like 2/3 into the season. The same thing happened last season. He had an injury, went to AFCON, came back. He wasn't really quite right. He's either gonna get injured at some point, or he's just gonna get absolutely spent. Like it happens to the best players. It happened to Saka last year, or other year. It happened to Saka past 2 seasons where he's kind of just had a big burst, expended all his energy, and then kind of just tailed off towards the end. So,
but then do you think if you can make that argument for one player in one team, you could make it for every other team?
100%. But, I feel like there's been periods of, let's say, Arsenal, for example. Now we've back fit. Odegaard's had 2 months out. Saka's had a month out. Saliba's had a couple rests here and there. Calafiore's barely played, strung together 3 games. I think we're managing the squad better because we were forced to. I don't know why Partey wasn't in the squad, but he's been rested a little bit. Even, Declan Rice didn't go to international break after this. He'll probably be fine for the business period, which is about to come. But, I don't think Liverpool have rotated as much in midfield. They have, because they have probably players of similar quality, but no, they're definitely the real deal. I'm definitely wary of them now. They beat City, they beat Real Madrid, both at home. But, they got tough games to come, and they're coming thick and fast. So, yeah, I'm just saying, like, 9 points over 25 games or whatever it is it's very small. It's very small. But, we have to do our job as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point about Arsenal, but
It's about Liverpool.
well, just managing the squad better. I don't really think. So let's think depth-wise for Liverpool in midfield. So you got Endo, Gravenberch, Curtis Jones,
McAllister, Szoboszlai.
McAllister, Szoboszlai. To be fair, it's decent depth, but I don't know. I think so much of their system with the 2 pivots in Liverpool's system is so influential. So I think if Gravenberch gets injured, and I think if 1 or 2 of them gets injured, the chemistry of the squad will be impacted a bit. Maybe that's a really naive comment to make, and maybe I'm talking out my arse, but I don't know. There's something about the midfield that would worry me if I was a Liverpool fan.
For me, like, you've noticed certain goals against some of the big teams, like, the way they killed Aston Villa, goals against us, goals against City today, I think it's just transition, man. They've
Yeah.
always been one of the best teams in transition, but now they're a lot more often than not, they're bypassing midfield.
Yeah.
You know, you just see Trent plays a zinger to
Yeah.
Salah, he's 1-on-1. The left winger doesn't have time to double up on Salah, and he plays a magnificent ball. It's just like those sort of moments that they
But
just
I
kill it
think
at.
that comes from the fact that they have a double pivot. So like if you've got two players showing for you in midfield that are coming short every single time, or like even one, then that's gonna force the opposition to press higher. So and then of course they have the quality of Trent to play balls like that. And I think the fact that their midfield drops so deep allows their attackers to have more space, and obviously that's where they've invested. You know what I mean? You look at Gakpo, Diaz, Salah, obviously, just quite a few of them. I just feel like they get freed up through the system. So maybe it doesn't really matter who you've got in midfield, but I feel like it's a key part of their system.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But I'm just looking at how they score their goals and how they stop people scoring, and it's mainly just working transitions. So it's like, in my opinion, no matter who they have in midfield, it's all about. For me, example, it's going to be about Salah, Trent, and Dijk, and the rest are kind of ordinary. So like, that's how you win football matches, to be honest.
Well, they are bloody good, to be fair. I feel like Nunes hasn't really got the rub of the green as well. To be fair, I think he's actually been quite deadly this season. But I don't know. I just feel there are one or two. Again, maybe I'm probably talking out my ass about the midfield. I don't know. I just feel like the quality and depth there, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say, isn't as prevalent as in defence. Like Conor Bradley for Trent, great replacement. Robertson for Shimikas, really good. Maybe at centre half, they don't have the best cover. They've got Kwanzaa. Trying to think of their other centre backs.
They've got Gomez that played today, Kwanzaa. They're going to start having to rotate their fullbacks as well. Trent's not going to be able to play
I think
3 games in a week.
I think Conor Bradley's doing well though.
No, he's a good player, definitely. He's injured at the moment as well, so you know things could get a bit shifty for them. So it's gonna be more twist and turn. Like the gap is gonna close. I believe the gap is gonna close. I'm not saying it's gonna be after that closes it, but they're gonna drop points just for Chelsea or Arsenal or City to.
I think what Slot's done really well is kind of similar to when Ranieri took over at Leicester that season they won the league. Like he didn't change the style in which they played. Was it Pearson that was in charge there when they'd done the Great Escape and they won all those games, and he implemented that system, and Ranieri came in and he didn't really change much. He tweaked it, and it feels like Slot's done that with Liverpool. As you say, Liverpool have always been like really dangerous on the transition, and it feels like Slot's just come in and adapted the way they are dangerous in that with the double pivot. And I think obviously when there is a change, and obviously when it's as effective as it has been, and you can only speak of their results, I think with time people will start to figure that out. And I think bar Salah, Van Dijk, obviously Trent, maybe McAllister, I think the individual quality in that Liverpool side isn't nearly as high as when they won the Champions League. And I think when people start to find out that system a bit more as the second half of the season goes on, I don't think the individual quality will push them through that. And I think they'll start to get found out. And of course, you've got injury worries on top of that. And of course, that applies to everyone. But I don't look at the Liverpool side and think, when their back's against the wall, I don't think of any of the new players that they've brought in and think he'll change it massively.
Yeah.
Or like his individual quality will carry them through. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. They got different makers there. That's just the issue. It's based on them.
Yeah.
No other, like Salah made that goal today.
Yeah.
Salah did miss a couple chances as well himself. They should have scored a few. Van Dijk probably had the best chances of the game as well. So
yeah, that header.
3 of them.
Yeah.
3 of them. Like, so I don't know. They're definitely favourites. Like they're definitely favourites. They're playing the best. And they haven't lost many games. They haven't thrown away many times, and they're getting the rub of the green at the moment. So it's on them, man. It's on them.
We were reading it out. I had a mate round. I had Felix round actually. We were
Mm.
watching the game because he had to drop off something, and he was saying that Arsenal have actually got Liverpool away on the third last game of the season.
Mm.
Third last game of the season. If Arsenal have closed the gap and Liverpool are still continuing this run or dropped off a bit, think how big that match is going to be. That's going to give Fever Pitch 1989 Thomas.
That game is mental.
Yeah.
I didn't know that game is absolutely insane because I just don't know how we're gonna fare there, man.
Yeah.
Anfield's gonna be rocking,
Yeah. It's the worst.
and we've been
Worst.
through a lot this team, but there's only so much you can like withstand.
Yeah. I don't fancy us. If Liverpool is still if they haven't like completely dropped the ball, I fancy Liverpool in that. And I suppose that completely contradicts what I've just said. But I really fancy Liverpool for that game.
One of you,
We got to carry 1989 in our hopes, but yeah, that's going to be a very telling game, and I don't think we fare well. As Arteta famously said, like we get our foot stuck in the mud. There is well, he got his foot stuck in the mud. It was an interesting one. So I think it's fair to say Liverpool are a fantastic team. I don't think fans should be getting too carried away with it, because I think if just as an Arsenal fan who's like very kind of focused on Arsenal, if you look at the away games we've played against like the top six, and don't get me wrong, Arsenal have not been perfect this season, you only have to look at the fact that we played Chelsea away, City away, Spurs away, Villa away, Newcastle away. We've got we've got. It's funny because United are kind of coming back under Amarin now, but the only two like
they're nothing to worry about over there.
top teams we've played at home are Liverpool and United. And I suppose historically that sounds massive, but I think the fact that we've got Newcastle at home, as I say, Villa are on a good run right now. We've got Villa at home, Spurs at home, City at home. All these big teams we've got at home at the run-in towards the tail end of the season, and I think that can't be discounted. I really don't think that can be discounted. On another note, I don't know if by the time this will come out, City have absolutely turned it around. But wow, I've never seen one player affect a performance. Here's a question: do you think it's all the stuff that's going on in the behind the scenes that's affecting this? Because I can't expect. I don't believe one player can affect a team this much. Do you know what I mean?
When he got injured, like they won 2 or 3 games. They got a draw against Arsenal. They won 2 or 3 games. It weren't this bad. I don't know. I think it's just a mixture of everything. I think definitely it's taking an impact, but you're missing a key leader in the middle of the park. You missed that weight that he had, just in terms of physical presence, the ability to get the ball, hold on to the ball in key moments under pressure. But I think the defense just looks a mess. Like they're bumping into each other, running over each other. Like it was a mess today. Like it was shocking, like to see so many players that usually come under pressure just crumble and look like Looney Tunes out there. Like it was absolutely shocking.
It's mental. It's mental, and even just seeing Walker's decline as well.
Bro, I haven't rated Walker for 2 years. Like the guy's been found out numerous times. Got found out for England. Every goal was kind of his fault. And now you look at him, he's just getting worse and worse. Not just in the headlines, but on the pitch as well.
Here's an interesting question: if Walker didn't have this incredible amount of pace throughout his career, do you think he's like he let's just say he has the average pace of a fullback, like fast but not like rapid like he is? Do you think if Walker had the average pace of a fullback, he'd be nearly as successful as he is?
Of course not. Of course not.
You don't think he's got any, like, his crossing ability, his passing ability, his defensive ability, his defensive positioning? You don't think so you think his pace completely allowed him to get away with it his whole career?
Nah, I'd just say like he's definitely a great Premier League right back. I just don't think if he didn't have that pace, I don't think he'd be nearly the level. I think we're talking about a decent, good right back of Glenn Johnson.
Yeah.
Uh, Gary Neville. Gary Neville's solid, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be just below Gary Neville kind of like level.
Yeah, okay. Below Gary Neville.
Yeah.
So do you think he'd get into that City first team?
No, I don't think they buy him.
Because I remember when he got bought from Spurs, and Spurs fans, including my parents, were like, "Thank God he's gone."
Yeah.
And then I remember him joining City and obviously being as amazing as he has been. So I don't really understand Walker, to be honest. And also, like, even at England, they trust him enough to put him in a solid back three, and I think he did quite well if you look back and when he was in the back three. So obviously, it isn't just pace,
Mm.
but you still think he'd just be like a Glenn Johnson.
I think it'd be a bit above average. Like he still was very good at certain stuff. 1v1 defending, jockeying, but he lost his man constantly. Didn't check his shoulders, made constant mistakes. Like I don't know. Like
Even at the time of recording this, for the first goal, he did not check his shoulder or who was behind him, just completely letting go.
bro, he was just never like it's happened so many times this season. Like for the past 7 months even.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't rate him. I don't rate him. Obviously, no one really rates him at the moment. He's probably the worst he's ever been in his career, but
Would you say he's best Premier League right back of all time?
not even close.
Would you say he's best English right back of all time in the Premier
Nope.
League? Who would you rate above him?
Trent.
Trent over Walker.
For sure. I think his defensive abilities or lack of is so overhyped. I think the system that Klopp was playing before meant he was way more isolated. Like you had them pressing so high and he was often 1-on-1. And like he's gonna get beat, but there's so many times where, certain systems like when Ivanovic was at Chelsea and Mourinho was there, he had a lot. It was compact.
Yeah.
You only had one way to go, and
Mhm.
more often than not, then Ivanovic is going to win that battle because he's a good defender. But he's definitely one of the top 5 or 6. Yeah, 5, 6, 7 right backs to play in the Premier League for sure.
But some people like literally have him down as the best Premier League right back of all time,
Yeah,
and they're wrong.
they're wrong. Not me. Like I think Trent's like already one of the best right backs ever played the game.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think Azpilicueta was better than Walker.
Any others? Bakary Sagna.
Same level maybe. I don't know.
So Sagna, even at City, he was a better right back than Walker. Even with
No,
Walker.
Walker at City was way better than Sagna.
Trying to think. Reece James before he started getting injured all the time.
Can't be. That guy's not a footballer, bro. He's not a footballer.
Yeah, fair.
He don't play football.
Okay, that's really interesting to be fair.
I think Trent's amazing. Like, I'm probably a bit biased, but I think there's never been a right back that has done what he's done. No matter what you say about his defensive abilities.
Wow. Do you think City will turn this around?
I don't know. It's looking pretty bleak out there, and winning 5 on the trot. It's tough to be that motivated, but I don't see it without Rodri. I don't see it.
What if they signed?
Like winning the league, but they'll be all right.
So on Super Sunday as well, there was who was saying it? Carragher was even doubting that City would get top 4. He thinks that you look at Chelsea and you look at how mobile their midfielder. He was essentially saying that City's midfield without Rodri are leggy. They're older. They haven't got that oomph. And he said you look at, not even talking about Liverpool's midfield, which of course is very good. And maybe I look like a total idiot from what I was saying before in context to this. Actually, I think I do. I think I retract my statement about their midfield. I still do think that if one or two of them get injured, they could be in trouble, but that applies for a lot of teams. Anyway,
I think they'll be fine.
I think with the points you made, I think when you look at the goals they've scored,
It's more from the fact. Sorry to that. I know
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
going back to it, but it's more like Curtis Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch, Schloboschlei. You injure two of them, the other two are going to play.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're all kind of similar quality. They offer different things, but I think they'll find a way against some of the mediocre teams.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point. I do still think, though, that individual talent in that team, again, sorry to go back to it myself, I think when they do get found out a bit more tactically, I still don't look at those players and think you'll, like a Rodri, I don't think you'll single-handedly carry your team through this game if the other team's got their number tactically. I don't, Shoblai doesn't really strike me as like, oh wow, McAllister, as much as he's a World Cup winner, yeah, he's really good, but he doesn't go wow. Gravenberch, Endo, like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, I think they work very well in the system, and I think, yeah, anyway. But Carragher on Super Sunday was essentially saying he doesn't think City will get top four, because he says you look at Chelsea and Arsenal, their midfield are a lot more mobile. They got the depth they have isn't as leggy as well. Maybe looking back at it in hindsight, as much as Gundogan has really carried City through, maybe it was a bit of a lazy signing when they could have got a younger, experienced midfielder still, but maybe Gundogan was at the end of the cycle. I mean, that's just hindsight. I could be so wrong. Gundogan scored a winner for them to win the Prem this season still. But yeah, he said Chelsea, Arsenal, better midfield. Obviously, Liverpool top. But I don't think past that I see any real team causing trouble.
I don't know.
If we
I'm not counting out them other race. I think the solutions are within that squad. I think they'll definitely make a signing, but I don't understand why you have Matis Nunes playing on the wing, and like when he has legs and he is a centre midfielder.
Yeah.
Did well for Wolves there. Plays for Portugal every now and then. So it's like you have solutions within that squad. I know Kovacic is also another. I think it's a double whammy, him being out for like a month or so.
Yeah, but that's what Micah Richards said. It's an argument against it. He's like, no, you do have young legs. You've got Kovacic. Obviously, you said Nunes.
Yeah, like you've got people there. Like I don't understand. Like Rico Lewis doesn't cover much ground. Like he doesn't really. He has no physical presence. And you're playing him next to Bernardo Silva and then Foden as well. Like they work hard, but they're not. It's not the same, man. Like I think they have solutions. They should be playing Gundogan next to Nunes at the base and think of a solution that way physically, and hopefully De Bruyne comes back. You now have your wingers back, Doku's back as well, but it's just looking a bit lightweight. Like when have you ever seen a City midfield of Rico Lewis, Gundogan, and then Foden, Bernardo Silva, and Nunes? It's lightweight. It's lightweight. It's not
easy to bully.
And you like before the past couple of months, you would have never said that about City.
Yeah. So do you agree with Carragher in the sense that they're struggling to get top four?
No.
Okay. Would you say that they still have a strong chance of winning the league?
No, I wouldn't say they have a strong chance, but
they still have a chance.
Yeah, they have a chance for sure.
Okay.
I think we have a better chance.
Yeah, Arsenal have a better chance, I'd say. Even Chelsea, to be fair. Now,
same chance as
yeah. Well, I think to be fair, Chelsea deserve a shout. But in regards to something that I find quite interesting, Phil Foden here's one. No one's really talked about it, and I'll be interested to hear your take on this. Has there been a Foden fall off?
Of course, he was player of the season last year. Do you know what I mean? And people were like, "Oh, this is the guy." But now we've seen without that base, he's not able to pull his team through it. I know he didn't start the season; he got given an extra break, and then he maybe had a little niggle or whatever. But since the Euros, he's been absolutely awful, like terrible. Even today, like he got into some decent positions, but usually he'll just pull the trigger, won't think about it. We know what he can do with the ball, and, like the amount of power he can generate. But like today, he'll hesitate, try to wiggle through, and just get tackled against. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's obviously a baller. But I think we've now seen that he can't. He will never be that. Oh, you never know. He could be that guy, but he isn't that guy. Like
He's
you got Saka, you got Palmer, you got Salah, you got um
you got those are players where I think if your team's playing crap, they'll grab the game and absolutely carry you through it.
yeah.
I don't feel like Foden does that.
You do you know what I mean? Like I think he can do that, but
He did do it towards the end of the season,
yeah,
last season,
yeah.
to be fair, to give him his flowers. But you don't feel like he can do that every time.
I don't think he can be the main man for City right now, which is proven. Like back then when he was doing it, it still had, Stones was fit, Roger was fit, De Bruyne came back, Haaland was there.
But to be fair, he did still do it.
He did it,
I
but
mean, that
he
last
did it
year.
with support. Do you know what I mean? Like you take out Odegaard, and you take out Declan Rice. Saka was there. Saka was doing his thing. You take out freaking anyone. I think in Chelsea's team, you take out anyone. I think Palmer still does his thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's yet to be seen for. Well, I think Salah's kind of doing it on his own at the moment, apart from with Trent. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Foden just looks like a shell of himself, and I thought he was looking like an academy boy out there sometimes. But no one likes to hit on Foden. You don't see no negative media. Like you don't see him on the front cover being like, "Where's this guy?
Yeah.
Is Foden done?
Is Foden done?
Is Foden done? Foden.
If you've got any news journalists, people, I feel like this is a lot more serious podcast. Like,
Seriously, dim the light down.
On a lighter note, on our TikTok, I've obviously grown this tash. You're not a fan of it?
What?
So I was raising money for November. On our TikTok, I was updating people with how I was feeling every day. And it helped. To be honest, like, it did not help our numbers on TikTok. So maybe I should have consulted you.
I remember seeing them. I was like, I went on the TikTok the other day because someone messaged me saying, "Oh, like they actually said that they enjoyed the videos." I think from November, and I saw on the video. I was like, I'm just seeing like, why am I seeing Jack's face 20 times? Just like, and I was like, I know this guy's just rambling, but it's for a good cause, like. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, my argument behind it is a more important thing than like banging 10k views on a short that if that's helped anyone out there, I hope it has with our small but prevalent audience, the lefties. I hope it has, and yeah, it's just a reminder with my dodgy moustache, which I think I'll keep just to annoy you.
You're not annoying me, probably. Knowing all the women out there.
You know what? It's been better. I'll be honest. Thank God for November. It's actually carried me through. Let's just say that. And that's a conversation for off the camera. But yeah, just a reminder about men's mental health. And if you want to check out the content, please do. Anyway, moving on. There is just one more topic that they were talking about on Super Sunday that I found very interesting. I promise you, Super Sunday, I'm not just nicking all your ideas. I just think they're really interesting comments and debates. Mo Salah is now nearly 33 years old. They consider wingers...
Wait,
he's 32, he's nearly 33. But by the end of the season, he'll be 33.
I thought he was older.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, he's nearly 33, and obviously he's come out, made a few comments about his contract, saying he's more likely he'll leave than stay. Now, the argument being made is you can't let Mo Salah leave for free. I'm sorry, at his age and his age bracket, you're not going to get too much money unless he's going like Saudi, which is a possibility, and I understand that. But they were arguing that, this Liverpool team, the FSG model, and, we don't pay too much wages for players, like we keep it within control, like it's very like stern the way they run their finances, which is great. It kind of reminds me of like the Wenger era at Arsenal, when Arsenal were the only club not making a loss. And the phrase thrown around when they were talking about it on the punditry was like, give him what he wants, and Carragher saying, no, but this isn't how Liverpool's success in the last 10 years hasn't been created by giving players what they want. It's through building a team, building a squad, the Moneyball system. And I just found it really interesting. Personally, I would give Salah a 2 year extension and pay him. It's tough because obviously they have the system, but I wouldn't pay him what he wants. But I would offer Salah a contract, maybe a bit more as kind of a thank you for his loyalty and what he's provided for the club. And unfortunately, based on the model and the situation, I think you just do kind of let him for free. And I think I know clubs are businesses. I know, um, I know you want to make a profit on players, but I think when it comes to Salah, I think through the success he's helped and had a big part in creating, I think you've already kind of got your returns. So personally, I don't think you should be worried about how much money he's going to go for because he's in his mid 30s anyway.
Okay.
I just would not pay him too much.
How much do you think he should be paid? And how much do you think
Over 200k,
he is paid? How much do you think he's on right now?
like 180.
Nah.
What's he on?
So over 300k.
He's on over 300k.
Yeah. So if you're rewarding someone, like he's the best player in the league. Like he is the best player in the league. Like he has been the top three for nearly a decade. So it's like, I understand why it's the art of negotiation at this stage. If you're on 300 to 350k already, and you're still playing at that top level, you're going to ask for a lot because you know that you're probably going to end up meeting in the middle at some point.
Yeah.
Unless you really don't want to be there. So he obviously has asked for 400 or whatever, to make him the bit highest paid. They're not City. They're not going to just pay the money, and we see Haaland on crazy wages. We see De Bruyne on crazy wages, but Liverpool aren't City. So really and truly, you have to think to yourself, is it time to rebuild? And, but do you think they should go above what he's earning right now? Because you said right now that you should pay a bit more.
I didn't know he was on that much.
Oh.
I didn't, especially with like the way they pride themselves on their financial model. Personally, so Roy Keane's argument in it was, you're going to splash 40k, pay X amount of wages. You can't guarantee someone's going to come in and hit the ground running. But how do you know if someone's going to hit the ground running or not if you don't take that gamble? So it is a risk. But then you could get to a situation that you could arguably argue with City, where you've got older heads like De Bruyne still in that team, where you could have introduced someone to take on his role, and I don't think they've done that effectively. Yes, you could argue Foden, but I think they're two different types of players. Like signing Gundogan, I know you got Kovacic, and they're two similar players. I think rebuild. Sorry, I started this by saying reward him with a contract, but if we're talking that much money, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because, I mean, actually, it is tough because they want to do it within the FSG model. They want to do it within this Liverpool model, but they've already kind of broken that model by paying him that much. Yeah, there we go. They've paid him, I've come to my conclusion. They've paid him X amount already, over 300 grand. I don't think an Arsenal player is even on 300 grand.
No, highest paid is Havertz.
So if you're already paying him that much, you should, and I think through his loyalty to the club and what he's achieved success-wise, I think he deserves it, honestly. I think you do have to break that model. And then if you really want to sell him, you would get money back. But again, I think that window's kind of gone now that he's 32, 33. You're not going to get a massive return on that. I mean, even how much did Cristiano Ronaldo go to Man United from Juve? It wasn't like
30.
Yeah, it was like 30 mil. You're not going to recoup
20 maybe.
Yeah, you're not going to recoup massive amount of money. And if you're hitting the ground running with immediate success, like they are with Arne Slot, even if they come like second, third, fourth, I still think that's success as a new manager. I mean, I thought they were going to finish 8th, but yeah, I'd pay it. I think he deserves it for the club. I think you're allowed to break the model for players like Salah. And I think if you, in a time where they are achieving immediate success through their performances so far in the league, you're going to spend a lot more trying to sign someone who can do that. So I think actually financially it would probably make a lot more sense to keep him on.
100%. I don't know. What you don't want to see is him going somewhere and maintaining that level. God forbid to a rival.
Yeah,
I don't think he'd go to a rival, to be honest.
I think he'd go Saudi.
You think he'd go Saudi straight?
As my belly's rumbling.
He'd become probably the best paid player of all time.
Yeah.
Go Saudi, to be fair.
But yeah, I think what he's done for Liverpool, I think the quality of the player, like 32, 33, as a winger, to be the best player in the league, I think you have to pay it. Because I think actually, as much as you've got that financial structure that you're trying to maintain at Liverpool, I think if anyone was to argue against it, say why is he broken this one? It's like, it's Mo Salah. Like, he's a legend of the club. Now I think this is a situation where you can bend the rules a bit, and no one will really have a problem with it.
It's tough. It's like you need to. They're not going to sign all three. You got to remember that it's not just Salah.
Yeah,
There's Trent
Van
there.
Dijk.
I think Trent's the most important. I don't know. I think Trent will probably. He could end up regretting it, but obviously he'll be joining a Real Madrid team. That's just.
Yeah.
But okay, what Mbappe is doing right now, I don't know, man.
If I was Trent, I'd stay. If I was Van Dijk, I'd stay.
You have to stay. Like, you can do well at another club, but there's nothing more than being at home and being like.
Yeah.
Trent will be known as like Steven Gerrard level.
Yeah.
If he stays his whole career there, he will be known like it's like a god in that city. So I don't know. You can swap it out for. He's already got Champions League. He's already got Premier League. Like, I know he wants to be. I know probably in his head he wants to be a big brand. He wants to be worldwide. He wants to be probably like a Beckham of some sort. And you don't really get that kind of playing for Liverpool sometimes.
Yeah.
And you will definitely get that playing for. Look what happened to. He probably sees Bellingham, one of his best mates, and been like, Jesus Christ, like.
Yeah.
Just that signing to Real Madrid has made you like world recognized.
Yeah.
So it depends what he wants to do, like in this game, what he wants to achieve. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I think the window's gone for Salah to join like a Real Madrid, or I can see him at like a Bayern.
Barcelona will be stupid enough to buy him if they can muster the funds up for him.
Yeah.
But they got
But then it's like the only other club I really see in the last 10 years that have had as much success as Liverpool and are a bigger club than Liverpool is Real Madrid and City. I don't really see. The only place I could see anyone at Liverpool advancing their career is by going to Real Madrid. So yeah, no, that's where I learn it. Moving on, maddest moment. Now, mine's not really a mad moment, but it's like a mad fact I found out this week. Let me give you some clues to who. So this is about like player relations, like if people are cousins, brothers, like I didn't realise these two players were related, and they're from like two periods of football. And it was a really weird one. It's like the most niche one. Now, one of them is an Australian legend, played for Leeds United, striker. He's Australian, but he's Croatian descent. And he actually lives in Croatia now as well. And the other is a Ballon d'Or winner for Croatia. We can guess who that is.
Yeah.
Who is cousins with Luka Modric? And he's like a Barclays man, who I'm on about.
Q?
No. Think about it. I'll give you a clue. Like, he was stocky. Played for Leeds. That should give it away. Mark Viduka. Viduka is second cousins with Luka Modric.
Is it?
So weird, isn't it?
That's mad.
So it turns out their dads are first cousins. I want to know if Viduka and Luka Modric, and so random, innit? If Luka Modric and Viduka played in the same team, do you reckon that's a deadly partnership because of the genetics?
Because of genetics. That was not the question I was expecting.
Yeah.
Like,
But imagine Modric and a Viduka duo.
I think Modric would hate to play with a guy like Viduka, but you know,
It's his cousin. He's got,
it'd be good to see. I
yeah,
don't know how close they are.
yeah. But there's not much more to that
Yeah,
than the fact that Luka Modric is second cousins with Mark
big
Viduka.
Viduka. Fucking hell.
And did you know, it is a little bit of a story on top of it. Mark Viduka, whilst he's retired now, runs his own coffee shop in Croatia.
Is it?
Yeah. I want to do a video of Viduka. I think he's a Barclays man that no one really talks about. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
He was a baller. He's like what Danny Graham wanted to be.
Which one, Danny Graham again?
Swansea striker.
Oh.
Sunderland, I think, for a bit as well. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Viduka, brute.
Yeah, Viduka.
With Modric. Yeah, so there you are. There's my maddest fact of the week.
That's pretty mad.
Okay, what's your maddest moment?
I don't have a maddest moment, but I simply wanted to ask, do you know what happens? So there's like, it's obviously like a lot of funny rules, and then the handball rule keeps getting changed.
Yeah.
And like, there's obviously a lot of niche rules in football, but
And ones that are subjective as well.
yeah, exactly. But wanted to ask if you knew what would happen if a direct free kick goes into a team's own goal. What is awarded to the opposition team?
So I've got a direct free kick.
Yeah.
And it goes in my own goal.
Yeah, unless you're kicking it back to the keeper. Because it's a foul. Like, a direct free kick is a foul.
Yeah. And that includes like when it's in your own half.
Yeah.
What happens?
What is awarded to the opposing team?
A goal.
Huh?
A goal.
Nah.
What?
Nah.
Why wouldn't that be a goal though? That's an own goal. If that was an open play and that happened.
If no one
would you
touches
buzz
it, it's not a goal.
Why?
Just the rules.
So what's awarded?
Guess.
I did. I said a goal.
A corner.
Nah, these referees have to have a day off. No, genuinely. I thought that whole what's his name? That whole thing about that referee slagging off Liverpool. What's his name again? Forgotten his name.
Yeah.
The referee that's come out and been
Oh, David Coote.
David Coote, yeah.
Yeah, David Coote.
I thought that was bad. Yeah, David's getting the boot.
David Coote. Ooh, David Coote.
I thought that was bad. Why would it be a corner?
It's just the rule, isn't it?
Why not like a indirect free kick in the box or something? But why is that not a goal?
He's aged 2 years thinking about this.
Imagine that happens on a Saturday and Sunday. We know that rule.
But imagine you don't know that rule, like, and then it
Well-
happens. You'd be like, what the fuck? That's a goal. He's like, corner. Oh, but are you fucking mad?
Imagine that happens to you on a Saturday or Sunday. And like, Jesus just pass it back to the keeper. He's like, what if they touch the ball?
I'll genuinely think, no, yeah, if you touch the ball, I think it's a goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you throw it in your own goal? I've never.
Like the keeper throws it.
No, like you got to throw it in. And like you throw it towards
Well, yeah, I know if you throw it in the opposing goal, it's not a goal.
But if you throw it in your own goal, it's a goal.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Oh.
But if you do a throw in and it doesn't touch anyone, it
Do
goes
you know
in.
what, Chief?
It's a corner or free kick. What's that?
Well, what they should do, when in doubt, clearly by the rules. Corner! That is honestly the dumbest. Do you know what though? Like, I only found out recently the other day that not the other day, like a couple of years ago from playing Sunday League, it's like everyone found it out. And like, this keeper had a rocket launcher on him. Like, it was like bullet bill, like kind of goal kick. And I remember some guy was offside. It was like playing American football. He would like stand in like, you were playing this game, I think. It's against a team called London Wednesday.
Okay.
Oh no, you're injured. And literally, they launch it to the corner and go, you can't be offside from a goal kick. And I only learned that through playing Sunday
No,
League.
I think I played that
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
There's one game. There's guys like, yeah, the tactics were insane.
yeah. But I'd never learned that because I'd never played like Sundays, and like it was like Sunday. That was another thing to add into like Sunday League. I don't know, Sunday League Bible, and it was just like, oh my god. But honestly, that direct, I can't get over that.
Yeah, man.
What is that about?
There was an episode on the chase. I think the chase. You know that one of them
Yeah,
questionnaire thingies. It's like, I think the guy that does it, he's quite famous. He asked it and he was like, and then the woman said corner, and he's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, corner. And then he's like, it's obviously a goal, but it was locked in.
yeah.
And then just like, yeah, it's like it's corner. He's like, what?
No, that's so weird. But what? What? I wonder what the
What?
logic. If you're a referee out there, I just want to ask what the logic is for that. It's bizarre.
Don't know. Maybe it's not a role anymore, but I think it's at that point it was a role.
But why? There must be some logic behind it. But I can't think of that logic because you could literally recreate that situation with the ball like rolling a centimeter or like rolling at 0.5 speed, and it's still a rule. You just googled it and it's still. That is so dumb. That is so dumb. I know we were talking about a drunk Belarusian referee the week before. I think if Schmolik was refereeing, he's the drunk Belarusian referee. I don't think he'd know that rule. But do you think
Yeah,
some referees have made that mistake and like given a goal?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
There we go. Referees, we're enlightening you.
Yeah. Let me see.
All right, we touched on City's title chances, but you wanted to touch on potentially Rodri and the Ballon d'Or. Do you think the Ballon d'Or's lost its importance and the quality of players have gone down?
100%. I think if we see some of the names, look, yeah, right. That was probably the worst Ballon d'Or list I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
you know what?
Or is it just us getting older?
I don't know, but like, I don't think there were that many world class players in there. Before, you used to see it stacked.
Yeah.
The best players from the Premier League, the best players from this.
Yeah. Lampard, Cruz, Ribery, Robben, Ronaldo, Messi,
Like,
Benzema.
it was consistent. Like, you see
It was
borders,
crazy,
like,
yeah.
and now it's like I'm seeing. Is it based on quality? Is it based on moments? Is it based on stats? Like there's some names in there. I'm like, you deserve it for what you did. Like, for example, seeing Lookman there, I was like, man,
Yeah.
my Nigerian guy, but it's still like some of that. He did deserve to be in there, but like I'm seeing him 14th. You telling me
Yeah.
Lookman's the 14th best player in the world? He's not even world class.
Yeah.
Is he world class?
Nah.
No, he's not. He's not. And I love him. I love to see Nigerian representation in there. He's worked damn hard. He's been through so much in his life to get to that position. But, I just think all in all, I just don't think the players that are winning it at this moment in time, or maybe not in this moment in time, but the players that have been nominated and the list going out has definitely regressed. Obviously, when Messi won it, I'm a big Messi fan. And there's a lot of uproar because, he's playing at MLS at the time. But,
What do you think's caused it?
I think politics within football, I think behind the scenes.
What do you think? No, I'm talking about like the standard of football.
Okay. I think they like the voting and stuff. I think the art of football kind of could be dying in a sense. I think there's still storylines and still moments, but I think the game is it's focused a lot more on physical attributes and like creating these like almost robots and machines. Like we've seen like
Haaland.
Haaland and like Mbappe is obviously technically so gifted, but his brute pace was what was striking the Birmingham teams. We're seeing less of that and more just like we now have the base of the midfield. We have units instead of like the Polos, the Fabregases. Obviously Rodri kind of has to disrupt to that as well, but
Even then, like he's a very similar player to Busquets, but I'd still look at Busquets and think silk. When I think of Rodri, I think system. And that's not to say Rodri isn't incredible. Of course, he has incredible moments, like when he scored that worldie in the Champions League final. He's an incredible player. And to be honest, he does deserve the Ballon d'Or based on what's around him.
Facts.
But I think silky movements. I just think class when I think Busquets.
Mm.
I think Rodri's a very important part of the system. I think Busquets is like his own thing. I don't know how to explain it. I just see silken class when I see Busquets, and I see systematic deployment when I think of Rodri. I'm making him sound like an army officer, but I think there's definitely individual skill with Rodri, and of course incredible individual skill. But I think a system. I don't think a silk. I think that's the best way to put it.
No, makes sense. I agree.
But talking like, because if we're talking about like the Messi and Ronaldo of today, it's Mbappe, Haaland, and to be honest, seeing Mbappe against Liverpool the other day for Madrid, he hasn't really set La Liga on fire like Ronaldo did when he joined, like Messi when he debuted, even like when Ribery and Robben joined the Bundesliga and joined Bayern. It's not that, and it's
The expectations are so high.
and I think that's why it's so refreshing to see Yamal. I think Yamal is a blast from the past, and I think you have so many systematic players right now, and it's like you'll never see a player like Ronaldinho again, because individual brilliance only comes out when I think when a team's against the wall tactically, like the manager's got it wrong nowadays, that's when individual brilliance comes out. But it's not individual brilliance from minute one. It's not like I can't see a manager going to a player nowadays and saying, you run that game on your own. The last time I can really think of a player that did that was Grealish at Villa.
You think Neymar did it?
I think Neymar did it, but I'm just like the last time I can think of it. Like I think of Grealish when he scored that goal against United, bizarrely during I think it was the COVID times. But like I forgot who the manager was at the time, but he like everyone said like Grealish was just allowed to you go out, you do, and that's why everyone loved that Grealish. But then when Grealish joined City, he's part of a system: dribble, 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 pass back, dribble, dribble, and Grealish was signed, they say, because of the percentage of the amount of free kicks he drew, and it's no surprise that set pieces coaches have been introduced. Like we didn't really talk about that even 5 years ago, and now it's a thing. It's almost become like tactically similar football to American football. Like, and obviously there was that argument about making games shorter because the ball was in play for I don't know the exact stat, but
55 minutes.
Yeah, is it 55 minutes? And I wouldn't be surprised if that's a lot less than it was. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but it just feels like football is becoming more like American football. Like I think the introduction of set piece coaches just tells a whole story. Like that just wasn't a thing. That just was not a thing. So I think it's what player can fit the system rather than what moment can this player produce. There's my explanation. Well, have you got any more to say on it, or do you think we can get back to those days, or do you think it's a done deal?
I think this next generation could lead the charge. You know, you've got the Sakas, you've got the Palmers, got the Foden. So like, there's definitely like the iceberg is tipping, but I think we got to see a little bit more. I think La Liga is slightly dying out. You see ballers across that thing and making stretch. I think the French league is now practically dead.
Yeah.
Used to have Hazards coming from there. Used to have so many ballers coming from there to come in the Premier League, and now you see that more. I mean, not more, a lot less. So I don't know. I think it's to be confirmed. I think we've stalled. It was always going to happen after Messi, Ronaldo, and now they've completely left European football, and been being slightly out of the spotlight. But you know, I'm hopeful. Football's still fun to watch. It's still fun to play.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to make this argument when you're getting into your late 20s, when you grow up with football, because it's like everyone's saying you're biased. But it does just feel different,
Mm.
as I say.
Mm.
But yeah, hopefully Lamine Yamal will drive the Ballon d'Or surge, and football will become that bit more about individualism. And
Mm.
obviously it's a team game, but there were players that made us fall in love with football. I mean, we've done the whole Thierry Henry thing, so yeah, that is a really interesting point. It's a bit of a late night one, this poddy, so probably why we haven't been as energetic as usual. Want to keep the volume down with the neighbours and all that. But just to wrap up, last time we did the pod, we did like a player comparison, and I've got my two players in my head that I just want to compare. So I'm going to be doing Bernardo Silva versus David Silva.
Oh, I was gonna pick David Silva for mine, but I'll find someone else.
Okay, cool. All right, player versus player. Bernardo Silva versus David Silva. Passing.
David Silva,
Dribbling.
Bernardo Silva.
Speed.
They're both slow as shit. Bernardo Silva,
Weak foot.
Bernardo Silva,
Crossing.
David Silva,
Vision. Creativity.
David Silva,
Shooting.
David Silva,
Yeah, I go with that. Physical.
Bernardo Silva.
Okay, so what we got in there? Sorry.
I think it's 4-4.
I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you went passing David Silva, dribbling. I should
Bernardo.
really note that down. I should, innit? D, B, B, B. Did you say weak foot?
I think it's
Bernardo?
4-4. Yeah.
D, D. Shooting, did you go David?
Yeah.
And then physical, Bernardo.
Mm.
Yeah. God, we always like equal it out. So, okay.
But David Silva, I'll say.
That's 4-4. Why would you say David Silva's bad? I think he's the most underrated Premier League player in history, personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, massive statement. I made a video a while back.
Not Gareth Barry.
God, why is he better?
Bernardo is quality, but I just think like David Silva, when he was there, he was like the best player at City. But I think Bernardo Silva's kind of overshadowed by some of the players he's playing around. Not to put down his quality, but yeah, just David Silva was just a leader at that time. He just made hard things look so easy on the eye, and yeah, I'll say that he's just slightly edged it for me. Even though Bernardo Silva has his moments and is a baller himself, but David takes it for me.
Good points. All right, who have I got?
I'm going to go for two very different players here.
Okay.
Yaya Toure and Fabregas.
It's not a bad one now, because they were like Yaya Toure. Everyone thinks he was a holding mid, but he was more box to box like Fabregas. I think personally.
Right. Passing,
Fabregas.
dribbling,
Fabregas.
speed,
Toure.
weak foot.
They both had like equally. I would go. My gut's telling me Yaya Toure.
Crossing,
Fabregas.
vision, creativity,
Fabregas.
shooting,
Toure.
physical.
Toure. 4-4.
4-4. I was surprised by the dribbling one though.
Fabregas over
Yeah,
Toure.
yeah.
No, Toure was incredible, but I would prefer Fabregas in a tighter space to Toure. I feel like Toure
Yeah.
would get out of it because of his physical. Like, not to say that he's not good at dribbling, but his dribbling was complemented by how well he could hold off the ball. I feel like if we're talking solely dribbling in tight space, I feel like Fabregas would be a bit better. He hasn't got his physicality to rely on as much.
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get your point, but I just disagree.
Fair.
Yeah.
As a better player, I think probably with this argument you have to go with who had the more successful career. Now you could argue it with Fabregas. He won the World Cup, Euros. He won Champions League with Barca, didn't Wow.
It's tight.
I literally have to only base this off the fact of players that I really. I think Yaya Toure is very underappreciated, and I would go Yaya Toure over Fabregas. In all honesty,
Mm.
I feel like Toure could dominate a game better than Fabregas could, and that's why I'm going to go for him. And I feel like Toure could do what Fabregas did. Not like he could play in the midfield and have it click.
Yeah.
Not as good as Fabregas. Like I feel like Fabregas could gel better with players, is what I'm saying.
Mm.
And like chemistry wise, could work a lot better. Whereas Toure was like, I'm going to take the game on by myself. But I feel like Toure could do that as well. And I know Fabregas could do that, but I feel like Toure could gel better than Fabregas could take over a game.
I don't know. Like, I'll go Fabregas. I just think he did it for a lot longer at the highest level when he came on as a child for Arsenal and was, didn't look out of place next to like sort of Henry, and he was already quickly became one of the best midfielders, then became captain at a very young age, and then just did it everywhere.
At Barca, he didn't really perform that well, though.
I think he played better at Barca than Yaya played at Barca.
But Yaya was kind of shunned from the team because of Guardiola. He always had those issues with Guardiola. So that's a factor that you have to consider.
It's a factor, but like he didn't do that well at Barca. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was there, he was a holding midfielder there, and he blossomed. But I think he had probably 3 years on top at City. But I think Fabregas had so many more years on top.
I think it's a hard one. I think
No, very. But I'm just saying,
hardest one.
Fabregas, got close to the assist record. He wasn't necessarily bursting through and scoring and making things happen, but he could do both. He did both during his career. Scored some important goals. Had that bite about him at times when he was young. Created so many chances. Yeah, he's up there, man. I'll just give it to Fabregas just for the pizzazz, the accuracy of his passing. But yeah, it's tough. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all.
I don't think there is a right answer.
There's no right answer in this occasion.
Yeah. All right.
Who's your howler of the week?
Who's my howler of the week? I did not prepare this.
That's unlike you, mate.
Pau Torres and Emi Martinez. How are you doing a back pass in the Premier League? Have you seen it?
No.
Pau Torres passed it back to Martinez, who picked it up, and Chelsea literally had an indirect free kick closer than where the penalty spot is. And they missed it, but I just thought the fact that that's my answer.
What?
The fact that you gave away.
Who picked it up? Why?
Pass back.
Why did he pick it up?
Because it looked like he was like controlling it, but it was definitely a pass back. So Pau Torres and Emi Martinez for giving away a pass back indirect free kick. I haven't seen that in ages, and you're a numpty for that. Just get rid. So yeah, that's my howler.
Oh, they're right, man. I don't want to go for the bait options, but I'll give it to Kluivert for just dispatching
I was gonna say that.
3 penalties.
Yes.
Mad,
Yeah.
And each of them was just so like there was never any doubt.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Penalties are, it's a very good way to rack up the points, rack up the goals. But 3 penalties, the way that he dispatched them, not easy, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different if it's like penalties over a season.
It's a howler from Jersey Star on the back line. Fucking the penalties were a disgrace to give away. Absolutely disgraceful. Someone just clattering in them any chance he get. It's going nowhere.
And on that disgraceful note, we'll probably end it there. Sorry if it's been a bit more subdued. I thought we'd do a relaxed, more intense one today. And then we're going to be recording in a week or two. And maybe the banter will be flowing a bit more.
Yes.
But I think
it's more analysis. This is
more analysis there.
This is the real Super Sunday.
This is the real
It's not CBS, this is Sky Sports.
Oh, fair. All right, sweet guys.